But particularly after tonight, then you look at that. That's 63. If they turned it on and were at it, could be a lot better than that. Plus the 3 points. That goal difference could be worth.
But Newcastle are a different proposition these days. I don't think they'll go there with too many concerns. And we've seen City at different times struggle to turn on the sort of performance that is their trademark. So we don't know.
No, we don't. But I think this tonight will have really set them up, City. And if it hadn't been at St James's tomorrow, then I would share your concern if I was a City fan. But it's not. City are at home. And the fans will try and lift them. That should lift them.
Wasn't a good day for Burnley, beaten 3-1 at home by Villa. Chelsea were 2 up, but finished all square with Wolves. Palace, with a Wilfried Zaha penalty, relegated Watford. Brentford, 3-0 winners over Southampton. Brighton trounced Manchester United, who will finish this season with their lowest points total ever, whatever happens now. Liverpool 1, Spurs 1. Ever in Premier League history.
Yeah.
Football didn't start in '92. I have to remind myself a lot. Norwich and Watford gone. Everton, Leeds or Burnley. It's one of those three to join them. From the top, point for Wolves today keeps them in touch on the periphery, if you like. West Ham still have ambitions of taking a European place. I've got 2 games in hand on Manchester United, so there's no reason why they shouldn't. Spurs 62 now from 35 played. Arsenal 63 from 34. Chelsea are in their sights. Chelsea 67 from 35. Manchester City and Liverpool both on 83. Liverpool have played a game more. Tomorrow looks like that. Arsenal at home against Leeds. Ominous for Jesse Marsh and his team, that. Leicester Everton, huge again for Everton, who have won just 1 away game so far this season. That might be their best chance of doubling that total, with Leicester out of sorts after Europe. Norwich relegated, they're at home against West Ham. And Manchester City, as we've been saying, at home against Newcastle United. What do you think then, on reflection now? Was this the night, do you think, that everything changed?
As you say, I prefer to see the weekend out, and then we'll discuss whether this is the weekend everything changes, because we don't know what tomorrow will bring. We don't know how City are going to react. I'll be disappointed if they don't react positively. You, I know, have concerns that was such a big disappointment that they'll find it difficult to pick themselves up.
You're right, that helps, but I do think that, midweek was a massive blow.
Was a massive one.
Because if we're honest, City wanted to win the Champions League.
100%.
And I think Liverpool would really have preferred to win the Premier League. Yeah. And they're going to end up with probably the opposite again.
Yes, the opposite again. Yeah, I agree with that. So it depends. We'll wait and see what kind of mood they come out in tomorrow. I expect them to beat Newcastle. I expect them to go 3 points clear. So if that's the case, then that would be not a seismic shift, but it would be a big move in City's favour if that happens, without a doubt. But Liverpool couldn't have done much more tonight. I'm talking about effort-wise. Their delivery, their final ball, their work in the last third was not as good and as sharp and incisive as we've seen it. They got the ball to the last third quite comfortably, time after time again, but, you know, Robertson's delivery, Trent Alexander's delivery, they two are important components in this Liverpool side with their delivery into the penalty area. It wasn't up to their usual standards.
Tired and
Salah looked tired, but the African Cup of Nations might have had a big effect on him, and Mane put him in that camp as well. You know, so all these things might be beginning to have an effect on them at the time in the season when they don't want it to have an effect. They've got huge games coming up. We know that. 5 more to go. 2 cup ties and 3 league matches. And they're going to have to just prepare themselves, recover, rest, eat well, and just hardly ever train, Richard. They'll be doing very little training from now to the end of the season. Hardly any. Just be ticking over, because nothing they can do training-wise. So they've got to hope that the next 5 games they can produce 5 performances.
I mean, Spurs were rock solid, I felt, but also carried a threat. This corner, this is, as we look at this point here, I'm saying,
where are we going?
What are you doing? You're in your own half. You've had a corner, but they work it eventually...
You see here, what I would say is, I don't know why Konate's just heading that aimlessly in there. He could have brought it down, he could have backheaded it to his goalkeeper, and then they would have got possession. But what Tottenham did well from here, they kept possession of the football after that. They were prepared to go back again, and they went to the goalkeeper again.
And then
this time,
you go over the top of them.
This time he takes it. Now that's an aimless ball. This whole move could have fallen flat in his face if Harry Kane hadn't brought that down.
What a touch.
Great touch. And from here, what does he do? Good. See, a player without Kane's ability or football brain would have probably tried a shot there and it would have been blocked. But what does Kane do? First he pulls out the air, slips past Trent Alexander-Arnold, and then says, right, I can't score from here. I'm going to lay you in. He does the same. I can't score, I'm going to lay you in. A really, really nicely worked goal from Tottenham. Really nice. And the plan that they set out, their game plan at this particular moment in time was working perfectly. Defend deep, you know, pack the middle. If they want to cross it, because they're not the biggest side. You know what surprised me tonight? We didn't see Divock Origi.
Yes, agreed.
Really did, because they were having trouble getting through. We could see they were really frustrated, not playing through. You know, Diaz was extremely quiet, I thought, second half. His goal was the only thing there. He was extremely quiet. He needs time and space to run at people, and he didn't have it. And I just thought, with the amount of balls that were coming in, it might have been a night for a 6'3" centre-forward, just to cause them a few problems. It really surprised me that Origi didn't take a part in this game tonight. And they got the little bit of luck that they were looking for and searching for. Yeah.
Huge amount of luck.
You see what I mean there? Trying to play the ball through all this, Richard. That's just a white wall that they were facing. And even this shot doesn't get through it. It gets half blocked. I mean, I'm not sure if it's going in. I'm not sure if the goalkeeper's got it covered. It's difficult to see. But he works it. Yeah, it might have been getting blocked. But that was, and you thought from there, oh, look where the goalie's going. He's going. Look at that. That looks like it might be going wide-ish. And I honestly thought with 12 minutes plus to go, you're just thinking they're going to get another. But in fairness, Tottenham were resolute again. They cleared their heads. They just stuck at it again.
It just felt to me like a night when
you said
that the last tenth of what normally works wasn't quite there, was it?
No, it wasn't. The delivery. The retention of the ball in the last third. You know, you look at the front three that started. Salah was quiet. Mane was quiet. Diaz, obviously he sparks when he comes on the ball because he's quick and he's, you know, incisive. But even he struggled to make an impact tonight.
Alexander-Arnold crosses that were long and
when have you ever
pointless.
seen Andy Robertson be taken off?
Yeah, was it an injury? I don't know.
It didn't seem to be. I mean, the boy's never injured much.
No.
So, I mean, they've taken Robertson off because they were obviously wanting to try and change it with Simicast.
He hasn't yet come out to do his interview, so...
Yeah, he'll be out, don't worry. Yeah, he'll be out. He'll be out. So it was a night of frustration for Liverpool, very much so. But that's the performance that City found difficult to break down when Tottenham beat them. You know, Tottenham are very good at that under Conte, and you can see, as I said, his fingerprints all over that now. You know, defend deep with numbers if we need, but we've got great pace to take the game to them if and when we can. So, big games coming up. We know they are, all of them. But definitely, theirs to lose now. Without a doubt.
Steven Gerrard has a chance to exercise ghosts, perhaps.
Yes.
Perhaps. When Villa go there on the last day of the season.
Yeah, it's at the Etihad, isn't it? Yeah.
But...
Andy's there, huh? Yeah. Villa away. See, when I look at that, if I'm seeing a City side, right, who are at it, if I know a City side and I think they're good, they're ready to go. Do I see them losing points against Newcastle at home? I don't. Do I see them losing points against Villa at home? I don't. Do I see them beating Wolves away? Yes. I think if there was one game they might, you know, Moisey would love to do something there. That the season's sort of not falling apart, but it's kind of ended a bit flat. So can they pick them up? That might be the stickiest one, West Ham. But I don't see them dropping points in the other three. I think they'll be good. And if they're at their best, they'll be good enough. Same with Liverpool. They should win that. So if that's the case, they'll win it by 3 points.
But
who knows?
But we don't know how they'll react.
No, of course we
weekend.
don't. No.
And maybe Newcastle.
Because if we did know, what would be the point of playing the league out?
Well, exactly. Tuesday.
It's that early as Tuesday, is it?
Yeah, Villa play Liverpool.
Well, see, they've got to pick themselves up again now. Get at it. And Villa were really good today against Burnley.
They did play well.
They played really well.
Yeah. But tomorrow looks like that. City's the second of 2 feature games here against Newcastle United. So join us to see what unfolds tomorrow on a day when
we'll be here.
Maybe things changed. Maybe.
Conte said they've got to spend big money. Agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's getting maximum, in this game today, he's getting maximum amount of all the players in that team. If he wants that consistency and that growth throughout his team, I think they're going to have to spend a fair bit of money in many areas. I think the front three are very good, top quality. There ain't much need for room there, for movement there, but I think in all other areas, I think there is room to improve. So I think he's making that very, very apparent, and he'd need money in the summer.
OK, right, let's get the reaction then of the Liverpool boss. Jurgen Klopp may well be slightly more deflated than he was in the week, live on BT Sport. Let's hear from him. He's with Des.
Jurgen, we all knew there would be a few twists and turns in the last days and weeks of the season. So what do you make of tonight?
I'm really happy with the performance. I'm proud of the mentality we showed against an incredibly good opponent with a game plan which is set before the game. So that's we have to win, and they sit back and do the counter-attacks. I thought we have a few things today were on completely different level. Like the counter press was absolutely outstanding. So, but anyway, in kind of a counter situation, I forgot the whole thing. I just remembered from the moment when Emerson Royale, pretty much in my space where he was probably not twice in the game, get a ball, and from there I remember the goal. But why this all happened, I really can't remember. And but then they scored a goal, and we had to keep our calm, and anyway had to increase the pressure. So that's a massive challenge. And but we did. We scored the equaliser, and that's it. I'm obviously not the result we wanted, but the performance I wanted, and so from that point of view, I'm fine.
Yeah, after the Son goal, you kept pushing, you kept pressing, and of course Diaz makes his own luck with a little bit of deflections. That brings you back in.
Oh yeah, it was clear. We said before the game we have to shoot. The box will be full, so we need to give the deflection a chance. So that was clear. We tried a couple of times. We're unlucky in moments here a little bit, here not precise enough. Maybe these kind of things. We were really good with the diagonal balls behind when Hendo got the ball there, and even the pass then didn't react probably, then didn't anticipate it well enough in this moment. And when we see the ball is getting there over the wing back, and we can pass it back into the crowd, I think in these moments we could have had maybe a little bit better in better positions. Apart from that, it's incredibly difficult to play against an opponent with world-class players, world-class manager. They have a full week to prepare, and we play every 3 days. That's so tricky. But again, I'm really fine with the performance, and we will keep going.
So keep calm, carry on. That's the
Of
message.
course. Well, now you know the dressing room is now not flying in this moment, like probably nobody out there. But come on, it was always clear something like this can happen, and it's now not. So it's not all games are played, and it's not that we need now tomorrow a defeat of City against Newcastle. There are other games to play. We just have to keep going. That was always clear, and so I wish for the effort the boys put in, we would have won this game. I really think, with all the praise probably for Tottenham, if you play a world-class team, they sit back. They won against, they drew against us now. They won against City, I think, and against Chelsea as well. They win against Chelsea. So the gameplay works for these games, but they're still fifth. So that's how it is. We have to. It's really a tough one. So and they obviously were for everything, get time wasting, these kind of things. It makes it not easier. It's smart, but it makes it not easier for us, obviously, on the other side. And so now it's like it is. We have a point more than before the game. That's a positive thing. We wanted 3. That's not so cool.
Thanks, Jürgen.
Okay.
You can see and understand why Jurgen's talking about, time wasting and sitting behind the ball, and they're still only fifth despite that. But if you're look at this from a Spurs perspective, you've taken 8 points from Liverpool and Man City. Whatever the game plan is, the game plan works against these top sides. It's totally the right thing to do, isn't it, for Spurs?
Well, he said himself, well, we've said before, they've had a week to prepare. They've known what they're going to do. To come here and defend and maybe get Liverpool on counter-attack. It's been nearly the perfect day for them. You know, if they get that goal late on, it is the perfect day because the game plan has worked to perfection. I think they're probably good value for it. I think Liverpool often puffed. They had lots and lots of energy, but they had lots and lots of shots on goal. But Spurs had the better chances. You know, let's not hide behind that fact as well.
Yeah,
I think there's different ways to win a football match as well. You can't all win it the perfect scenario, the way that Man City and Liverpool are blowing teams away, controlling the game totally, and just strangling the life out of teams. Sometimes you just have to say, you know what, people are going to do it differently, and you have to respect that. And the way I agree with the guys, the way that Spurs played today, I thought they were really good value for it.
And Jurgen Klopp said there, he said, look, nothing's decided today. It goes on as it would have gone on if we'd have won the game or even if we'd have lost the game. And the graphics machine, like all the footballers at this stage of the season, is also quite tired. But I think we've managed to just give it a little bit of a boost. And hopefully this time the graphic will be correct. So sorry for scaring the life out of anyone that thought Liverpool had 4 games to play rather than just 3 games to play. But indeed, they do have those 3 games. Away at Villa, away at Southampton and home to Wolves. Meanwhile, Manchester City are home to Newcastle, away to Wolves, away to West Ham. And as Robbie said, up against Steven Gerrard on the final day of the season, which could be interesting. And I suppose the message from Klopp needs to be this, like, forget about today, just concentrate on the fact we've got 3 games left, and if we perform like that, we're going to win those games. I mean, the performance was strong.
Yeah, all they can do is worry about themselves. They have to win the remaining games. The problem is that Manchester City and Liverpool have set themselves standards so high that drawing a game at home seems devastating. I mean, you know, drawing against Tottenham, they're a dangerous side, they're a good side, and it's no disgrace whatsoever. It's just the standards that these two have set are so high that any drop points could mean the other team get in.
And you know what it's like. You've been in this position. Like, you never know. It can change on the last day of the season. It can change in the last 10 seconds of the season.
Yeah, it can change at any point, and that adds the nervousness. And then it's about who blinks first. I think it's about that. These games you look on paper during the middle of the season, you think we'll blow these teams away. It's fine, but then you go into it sometimes maybe a little bit tentative at times, and that's about controlling your emotions, controlling the way you feel, your nerves, and that plays a big part now, and that adds a different layer to these games. So I still think there's maybe another 1 or 2 twists before the end of this season, I've got to say.
All right, well, I'm pleased we've cleared up the correct title race for you.
Antonio, what a performance. So much hard work, a lot of concentration, a lot of discipline, and it paid off.
Yeah, no, I think so, and it's not easy. It's not easy to play in this moment against a great team like Tottenham, especially away with this atmosphere. I think for my players was very difficult to have a lot of noise around them, but I think we have to be happy because we played a good game, and before the game I said that defensively we should be good. To pay great attention, and I think that we did this. At the same time, when we had the ball, I think we created problems to Liverpool, not only on the goal, but also we had chances. One at the last time was a really big chance, and it's a pity because I have seen my players a bit disappointed now and a bit frustrated. But at the same time, I think that this team, my team, showed that they have great desire, and it's not simple to play against us.
Well, they looked like a team in the mould of Antonio Conte, didn't they, today?
Yeah, they were resolute. They were there. They set up, like the guy said, they trained all week. You could see they've had that time together, and he'd give them all of the kind of scenarios that would be coming at them this day at Anfield. But you can't coach about the atmosphere and what that brings as well, and being able to deal with that. And I thought their temperament today was brilliant because you could see that if you lose your head, you get a bit rash giving away penalties. They were all quite calm and cool and collected in those areas. And everything that was thrown in that box, they got their heads, their bodies to it, and every single one of that back line were magnificent in that sense.
What did you think of them, Peter?
Yeah, I felt, the same. It was like they had men behind the ball, they had bodies, but Liverpool have been used to that. They've been used. Most teams come here, all teams come here, and they get men behind the ball. It was the way they were throwing themselves. Ben Davies, I thought, was fantastic. Rightly got man of the match. I think some of the blocks he made were phenomenal. Even Emerson Royale, I think we highlighted against Diaz before the game. He held his own there. I mean, some of these blocks were fantastic. But you've got to do that here.
I think obviously with the Tottenham's performance here as well, I know we've spoke about the fact that they've had a week to work on it. Now we know Liverpool are an incredible team attacking forward, so there's going to be times when Liverpool forwards will break the lines and they'll get past the Tottenham defenders. But that's when you need the character of play, the desire and the determination to throw themselves in front of the balls. And from a Tottenham point of view, they defended brilliantly. They really did, and as we said before, they were good value for it.
Plenty to build on for next season, and if Daniel Levy puts his hand in his pocket or goes and buys some players, who knows what they could achieve. But let's finish by talking about Liverpool. It's a significant day for them. It's been a big week for them as well. Let me ask you this. If it was the FA Cup final tomorrow or the Champions League final tomorrow, would you start with Luis Diaz?
All day long, yeah. I think he's a wonderful player. We said before the game about one of Liverpool's strengths is certainly him. I know there's other players who are very dangerous, but he's one of them players who gets the ball and he attacks the defender. Probably I wanted to see a little bit more, certainly in the first half, and get at Romero a little bit more, because he was the danger. He is the Liverpool's top player at the minute. There's no doubt about that. You give him the ball and something will happen. We were talking about as well, obviously, when you're playing against teams who are rock solid and everything's sort of difficult, Liverpool were maybe trying to be too precise going through the mid block all the time. Get out wide sometimes. Get your wide players. Get your Mo Salah running at your full back, or get your Diaz running at the full back, and create chances that way. And I think that sort of opens the pitch up a little bit more. At times, he was maybe a little bit too pedantic going through the middle. I think what he brings as well, he brings a bit of panic to the opposition defenders, because he's the one who wants to drive at you and cause that panic. And doing that drags other players over, because 1v1, I don't think there's anyone at the minute who's shown a way that they can deal with him. So that means people are asking for help. Once you do that, then someone on the edge of the box, Thiago or someone, becomes free, or a Mane or Salah. So the more often they can get him doing that and causing that havoc, they're going to get more rewards.
Towards the end, you two particularly, up on your feet, looking around the corner, Liverpool attacking. I think maybe all of us thought Liverpool were going to get the winner with a few minutes to go, didn't we? It felt like that momentum was with them.
Well, they've just done it so many times, even when they've had backs. They've just rose to every single challenge this season, and today was no different. They still rose to it. They could have lost this game. That could be an important point coming into the season. I have to say, it was a fantastic game of football. I thought both sides definitely gave to that. At the end of the day, that point could be crucial.
We shall find out, of course. Just a quick reminder that our season is not finished, by the way, here on BT Sport. We still have one more Premier League game for you, and it's Burnley up against Tottenham. And before we go off air, let's just have a little conversation then about that one. Burnley beaten today. Obviously, that means Everton and Leeds are now in with a shout of extending above them and surviving in the league. Where do you see that going?
It's a tough one. I think that result now today has certainly dragged them back into it. I think if they'd have got that result in that win today, I think they'd have been safe, and it would have been between Everton and Leeds. Everton have got a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a roll at the minute. You see the atmosphere of the game the other week. You see the desire from the fans, to take in the Come
on, Robbie. Burnley, Everton or Leeds?
I'm gonna say I'm going for Everton.
How did I know that was what you were going to say? And on that bombshell, we'll leave it. Robbie, thank you so much, mate.
Pleasure,
it was lovely to have you with us. Gentlemen, thanks very much for your company. So there you go. 2 goals, a point apiece. Doesn't really help anyone, but a cracking game of football. Good night.